today. Imtiaz Aneez has written this book called Riding Free, and this is his quest for the Olympics. It was in 2000 in Sydney, and he's going to talk to us about that and just tell us a little bit about what he went through. And we're going to go through the same emotions possibly as we take quite an interesting ride on today's quiz. It is a little more than 10 questions, obviously. It's not really the conventional game of facts that we have, which can get, I know, a little dense and a little boring at times, but luckily Imtiaz is here to just make everything a little more fun and bright and happy this Saturday. Most parts of the country, it's a little gloomy and gray, and hopefully we can get a little bit of sunshine here on the internet. So Imtiaz, this is just, I read this book, by the way, and welcome to India Fact Quiz's Game of Facts. What we try and do here is a little bizarre. We test people, but not on general knowledge. We test people on their biases. So this quiz is a little different, but yeah, it's going to test us on our knowledge of all things sports and lots of things horses. So I read your book, Imtiaz, and what I loved about it is that, number one, it's fairly straightforward, it's simple, but more importantly, I think it breaks down stereotypes. And for you to be so honest about the fact that you hated boarding school, you wept, you cried. No, boys are not really allowed to show their emotions very much. And you did that. So where did that come from, Imtiaz? I mean,
Thank you so much for having me on this show. I'm more excited because being a competitor, it's all about winning. But then when you told me I can't play, I was a little disappointed because I thought, oh, wow, I want to play this game because you know how it doesn't matter whether you're at the Olympics or you're playing Monopoly at home. We always play to win. So I wish all the participants all the best. Coming back to my book, Riding Free, it's the journey always starts and the dream started when I was at boarding school, and it was tough times. It was not easy. And I just thought it's just important to let everybody know what goes through everybody. It's not always the people standing on the podium and the medals and the glory, but there are lots of failures and lots of tough times, a lot of sacrifices you have to make. And mine started at a very young age of 11 years old when I had to leave home to go to boarding school. Of course, it made me who I am later on, and I made some great friends, and I loved it. But the first few years was a struggle, and it really is in life, in whatever we achieve.
And I think what is, what really, in terms of a message comes out is that it's okay to show your emotions, and it's okay to, you don't really have to, you can show your tears. It's
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's all this, men don't cry. Exactly what you say is wrong. It's important actually to cry because you get it off your chest, and then you can move on. But if you keep holding it and don't let go, it gets to you later on in other ways. So I always feel express your emotions as much as possible.
So that was one takeaway for me, and thank you for that. Another thing was, it's very interesting how your journey actually really has been made on the bedrock or the foundation of three women that you mentioned. And these are not sort of just the supportive, women in your life, but even your trainer. And I thought that was quite interesting in the equestrian sports, which again, we would have a bias saying, oh, it must be largely male dominated. You had a woman trainer. And tell us a bit about, the women in your life.
This is an amazing sport because actually it's the only sport where men and women compete at par. So that itself is pretty amazing. And, the top riders in the world are women. I would, they always say behind every successful man is a woman. I had three, and they were all very strong women, and they really made me who I was at that time. So my mother was a very, very strong influence. Diana came in at a very tender age of 11 years old, was my coach, was my mentor, and stayed with me till I was 30. So you can imagine, having somebody train you for 20 years without even one hiccup. There was never a chance that we even had any misunderstanding. There was any time that there was any, that we disagreed. Never. I just looked up to her. And then in Australia, Mrs. MacArthur, I mean, this is a senior senator's wife who, without her, I wouldn't have been able to complete the last leg of this whole Olympic dream. So I'm extremely grateful that I had all three of them and made me stronger.
This book also talks a bit about your own bureaucratic run-ins. So here you have somebody who comes from sort of a fairly privileged background, is in a very, I would say, elite sport, if you will, and yet there's a very, very strong glass ceiling. It's normally people in the army that will represent or be represented in the sport on international platforms, and you're trying to break through that. And then you also have the bureaucratic hurdles. So sports and bureaucracy sort of don't naturally go. How do you cope with that? How do you deal with that, Imtiaz?
It's really sad. It's sad that it did happen. But as a sportsman, we got to look above. And I think that's life. You're going to hit these barriers. Like I say in the book, every time you fall, you just think of another way to climb the wall. That's the main thing, because there are going to be barriers. It doesn't matter. Today in sport, there is bureaucracy, and there is other issues that take place. But in life, there is as well. So it's just another form. I was a pioneer in many ways, because I was the very first civilian to actually represent India at the Asian Games. I was the very first civilian to medal at the Asian Games. I was the first civilian to represent India at the Olympic Games. So, it's all possible if you live your dream. And as I always tell everybody, you just got to go for it.
Fantastic. So you're a quiz master today, and I think we're all pretty much set for today's game of facts. Welcome everyone. Daydreamer, Gargi, Shakti, Mamta, Sean, Nachi, Rajiv, Rathor, Aditya, so many familiar names. We also have a Rahul Gandhi in the mix. But we're going to start off right now, and it's Imtiaz who's going to be the quiz master. So I'm just going to sit back and sip some tea and relax while Imtiaz does all, covers the entire course. So Imtiaz, over to you. We're all here. We're monitoring the chat box. Anyone has any questions, anything, put that in the chat box. You have a message for Imtiaz, put that in there. We'll pass it on to him. So take it away, Imtiaz, and we could start the quiz.
I'm not sure what's more scary, starting and running this quiz, or actually getting in the start box of the cross-country phase at the Olympic Games. I'm as nervous.
And thanks to you, well, we normally have 3 people who get a book this week, but we've extended that to the runner-up. So 5 lucky people, the top 5 scorers of this quiz, are going to walk away with Imtiaz's Riding Free. It's a very, very nice, heartwarming book.
Thank you so much. And I hope the whole idea was to inspire people to do whatever they want to do in life. It doesn't matter. So let's go.
So yes, Imtiaz, you can start. You can just press start and we can get into it.
All right. So I start.
We have start. The regular poll questions. Yes.
Should I start? Press start?
Yes.
All right. So we have the poll questions first. This is basically to warm everybody up so that in case we have any new players, they can get used to how the game is played. And we got to go.
Imtiaz, you just need to click on next. Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite Olympic event? Boxing, wrestling, weightlifting. There's athletics and swimming, equestrian, and then there's tennis and badminton. So what is your favorite Olympic event? Please keep in mind that I am the host. So you get a few brownie points if you choose the right Olympic event. And excellent. So 41% have said boxing, wrestling, and weightlifting. 31% have said equestrian. I'm feeling a little depressed about it that equestrian wasn't first, but that's all right. And then 43% some athletics and swimming. And then there's 56% at tennis and badminton being the leaders. We'll go to the second question. And the second one, are you excited about the Olympic Games in Tokyo? Definitely. Been waiting since last year. Due to the pandemic, that got a bit delayed. Excited about a few events, hoping India wins a few medals. And I'm not a sports person at all. So we have 4 options there. And we've got 10 seconds left. So again, just to get a feel, make your fingers working in the right directions, thinking quiz time. How am I going to win those books? Wow. 61% says definitely be waiting for last year, just like me. 54% says hopes India wins a medal. And the good news, we've already won a medal. So that's wonderful. We're so excited. We had our first win today on day 1. And then excited about a few events. And I'm not a sports person at all. It's going to be a tough win when I ask you all the questions. So I hope you're a horsey person and you can answer those questions. If you had a horse, what would you name it? Players, type your answer. And oh, this is going to be fun. So anyway, as we look into this, because I'm sure you'll have typed your answers, it's pretty exciting for us because we did win a medal today, silver medal in weightlifting. So it's a great start for the Indian contingent. We had 125 athletes there in Tokyo representing billions. So it's just wonderful that on day 1 we have striked a medal. Oh my God. There are so many names, from Tufan to Chetak to Masha to Noddy. I remember Noddy when I was growing up. Badal, Dona. Oh my God, lovely, lovely. What lovely names. Each and every one. I'll have to choose one of these names for my next horse. Unfortunately, I don't see any of my horses on this list, but that's all right. That's okay. We will keep these. I'll keep a screenshot of this so that the next time I have when I get my next horse, I'll name it from one of these. Somebody even took my name, Imtiaz. How cute is that? Game of facts. So where do we go here? Quiz. So we're on with the quiz. First question. Which equestrian event did Imtiaz Aneez compete at the Olympic Games? There's show jumping, where you jump fences. Eventing, where you do, it's like a bit like a triathlon. There's dressage, which is a very calm, composed event in an arena. And then there's tent pegging, where we go galloping at full speed with a lance and you pick a peg off the ground. And the winner is who picks the peg the most amount of times. So there are these 4 equestrian disciplines, and we have to see who is the winner. So we first start with show jumping, dressage, eventing, and tent pegging. It was eventing that I represented India at the Olympic Games. So 28 people got it right. Well done. It's a good start. 33 said it was show jumping, which is very common because that's what's televised mostly in India. 26 said tent pegging, which is also not bad because tent pegging is an Indian sport that we won gold medal at the Asian Games when it was held in India. And then 20 said dressage. So those who have chosen eventing have done their homework. All right, we have Sinus in the lead, Nachi second, Zray is in third place, Glenn fourth, and Kartikeya is in 5th place. They're the top 5. We're going to take it like a horse race. So we open the gates And we've got Cygnus into the lead, Nachi close second, Zure, Glenn, and Katia. But remember, it's a horse race. And if you remember movies like Sea Biscuit, or if you remember movies like even Secretariat, the one that comes from the back usually wins the race. So not to say that Cygnus is not going to do it, but just to remember, you got to be careful. The ones at the back could catch up. This is an interesting question. Do horses need passports? You know, when humans travel, when we travel, we need passports and we need visas as well. But this question is whether when horses travel, do they need passports? Or is it only that the riders need the passports? So we got to know whether it's going to be true or false. 63 people said false and 44 said true. And the answer is actually, it was a bit of a tricky question out here. Horses do not need passports. Okay, so that is the correct answer. It is actually it is false. It's a bit of a, we put that a bit of like a twist. So when horses travel, every horse has to have its own passport. They don't have their picture on it, but they have a drawing with their markings. And any medication or anything that goes, or whichever country they've gone to, they still get it stamped. So every horse has to have a passport. Every horse that competes at a competition needs a passport so that you can know which show it went before, which show it's come to, and all the vets can identify with the horse. So it's a way of identifying horses, just like how it is for us. Cygnus is still in the lead. Nachi is second, Zure in third, Kartika Tiwari, and we have a new person going into the 5th place, Neelaba. She could be the silent one. She's coming into the right position. We're only at second question, so we've got a long way to go. But nice. Who won the maximum number of medals in any equestrian at the Olympics? Now, this could be any discipline, whether it's dressage, whether it's eventing, whether it's show jumping, or it could be any discipline. Which competitor has won the maximum? Is it Isabel Wirth from Germany? Is it Rainer Klimke, one of the fathers of eventing in Germany, of dressage, sorry, Ankie van Grusen from Netherlands, and Sir Mark Todd from New Zealand? He was actually knighted for his accomplishments in equestrian sport. But not to throw you all off, and 41 said Isabel Wirth. Amazing, Isabel Wirth, and can you believe it? She has won 10 medals. 10. I wish I were. A lot of athletes would be in envious. Rainer Klimke would be very, very close second, and there's Anki, and Sir Mark Todd is an event rider. So Isabel Wirth from Germany is a legend in our sport in equestrian. So wonderful that we see that 41% have got it right. Terrific. Great job. Let's see what's it's done to the leaderboard. And Neelaba Sinha, she's taken the lead. Oh my God, we've got all new people. What's happened out here? It's changed the whole game. Game plan is gone. This is what happens in horse racing. You just never know. Neelaba Sinha is in lead. Dhruvi is second. Ritesh Kumar is gone to third place. Vishnu Dwivedi is in fourth place. And Mamta Rani is in fifth place. Excuse me if I haven't pronounced your names correctly, right? But that's what's so exciting about horse racing. You just never know. Or even sport. You know, you could be a leader, just like I saw in the French Open. I'm sure most of you all who are athletic fans would have seen that, how Djokovic was down 2 sets. And he even in the third set, he was losing, but he turned it around only because of mind over matter. You know, that's what it is. I mean, just resilient. I mean, just amazing. Not only his game, but the way he played it in his mind. So you never know what's going to happen out here as well. Let's go to the next question. This is also a true or false question. Horses need shoes every month. Do horses need shoes every month? That's a good question. We got to know, you know, all our horses which are competing, some of the horses even, as you can see in the picture, there's even 2 holes. That's for studs. True. 70% saying right. It's yes, horses do need shoes every month if they're competing at a good and top level. If they're not, it can be extended to 5 weeks. But that would be the longest that I would keep a horse, not short. So we also have a question that came through on the game show. Can horses go on planes? That's the way horses travel. So when we go to the Olympic Games, when I went, I was lucky because I was based in Australia, so I didn't have to fly my horse. But right now in Tokyo, there are charter planes that go, have been taken from Australia, from Europe, from America to Tokyo. Horses actually travel extremely well by plane. They don't travel as well in trucks because they stop, start, there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of swing, and in Indian roads it's even worse. But when it comes to planes, it's very smooth. They get airlifted, they get put into a pallet, they don't know the difference, they all have a hay net, they have water, and it's very, very smooth. So they actually travel extremely well. And in Europe, when you're competing in Germany, in France, in Paris, in Poland, they're flying all the time. They're weekly flights. So people sometimes even fly to an event. So that was the question that came in. So just to add a little bit of knowledge on equestrian. Ritesh Kumar, he's now moved up into the first place. We've got a new person there called Pri. There's Sejal, Mamta Rani still holding on, and Vishnu Dwivedi is also still holding on. So we've lost a few of our leaders who have fallen back, but nevertheless, there could be just a bit of hustle in the pack and figuring out where they need to place themselves in order to get an opening to make that run to win. Let's go to the next question. Which of these is not a horse breed? Thoroughbred, Manipuri, Kathiawari, and Marwari. So these are all different types. I mean, they're different places. We don't know where they're from. Where they, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see which one is not a breed. There are many breeds of horses. Even overseas, there are Warblers, there are Frisians, there are Clydesdales. So it's interesting to know which one of these is not a horse breed. Well, 28 have said Manipuri, and that's the correct one. So Manipuri, there is no horse breed called Manipuri, though Manipur is very famous for horses, and in fact, polo was also started there. Manipuris are very natural horsemen as such in India, but unfortunately, as a breed, there's the Marwari horses and the Kathiawari horses, which are the years turned in. And you immediately can recognize them. You'll see them a lot in Matheran, in Mahabaleshwar, those who are from in this area, or even in the hill stations. Sometimes they use them. They're very strong and tough horses. And of course, there's the thoroughbred, which is the horse racing world uses thoroughbred race horses. And let's go to the results. And Pri has taken over. Oh, we've got a new person, Kartik D. Ritesh Kumar is still hanging in, and we've got Raghuveer and Soham Das. I don't know what's happened to the first ones who broke out of the gates and went to a flying start. Maybe they're just settling their horses now, feeling the pace, and hopefully they might get an opening. Maybe they're boxed in, maybe they're on the rails. We really don't know where they are right now, but we're hoping that when the next question comes and they get that opening and can make that run as fast as possible. It's about pressing that button. You got to keep your hand on it. Just like any sport, it's about keeping your eye on the ball. Which one of these colors is not the color of a horse? I apologize for all these equestrian questions. I was specifically told that the first 5 questions have to be a question to really get you all thinking. And then we will go to the straight Olympic questions. So we have 4 colors here, the dark bay, the chestnut, bay, and white. We got to know which one is not the color of a horse. Official color. Let me help you all a little bit. This is a tricky question. 18 got it correct, and it's white. And you all will say, but there are white horses everywhere. In the Shadi, they always use white horses. But in equestrian and in the horse world, equine, we don't call them white horses, they're called gray. So all white horses, technically, it was a bit of a technical question we threw out there to make you all think a little bit, but they're called gray. Then we have the bay, which is like a brown. But and then there's the dark bay, which is a dark brown, close enough to like a black horse. And then we have a chestnut. Most people may not know what a chestnut is, but a chestnut is a very light brown, like a redhead. So they're called chestnuts. So chestnut is redhead, bay is brown, dark bay is black, and then white is not a color. So it's very complicated, very complicated. Kartik D is taken to the lead. Not much change in the order, so that's good. They've just shifted places from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So there's not much change in the order. They're still right there. The pack is all close to each other as they're coming around the bend. It's still Ritesh Kumar in second, Pri's in third, Vishnu, and then Raghuveer. So very close. Not much change with that question, which was quite a googly question actually. Now we come to Olympic questions. Which city has hosted the maximum number of Summer Olympic Games? Please remember, it's summer. While looking at the choice, it should be summer because none of these countries really have that much snow to be holding Winter Olympics in any case. But which city has hosted the maximum number of Summer Olympic Games? London 53, and then then they thought it was Sydney, and no, sorry, Los Angeles, Sydney, and Atlanta. The answer was London. London has held the maximum amount of Olympic Games. It was in 1908, in 1948, and then as recently as 2012. The first few we may be a bit. I don't know whether what age people are playing this game, but I definitely didn't get to see the first two. I wasn't born, but in 2012, it was a wonderful Olympic Games. So London has had the privilege of holding three Summer Olympic Games as a city, which is pretty amazing because it's a very crowded city. So to hold this and have that, it just shows you what a sporting culture that city has. You know, with the football, with Wimbledon, even the equestrian events, they have the best equestrian events. So it's a very, very sporting nation. And Kartik D has still held the reign. Ritesh Kumar is there, Raghuvi is there, and we've got somebody new, Sri Harshita and Vinod Khanna. Oh, Khanna, sorry. I thought of the actor. That's why it threw me off a little bit. Which country has hosted the maximum number of Olympic Games? So in the first place, we said which city it was. Now we're talking about which country holded the maximum number of Summer Olympic Games. Being an Indian and very Olympic is in my blood. I'm a little offended that there's no Indian flag flying in this picture. So I apologize for that. We will correct it for the next time. We should have had one Indian flag flying there as well. Because it's to me, it's very important. I always stand up when I see an Olympic flag and get goosebumps. USA, absolutely. USA is the correct answer. It has held 8 Summer Olympic Games. That's a large number of Olympic Games. You know, it's quite expensive to hold Olympic Games. It's great for the country as well because you get people coming in. It's great for the economy. It's great for everybody around it. But again, it's a fantastic sporting nation. And so they have held 8 Olympic Games. Ritesh Kumar is in the lead. Kartik is second. Raghuvi. We have Sejal and Gagan who have joined in as well. My God, this race is changing all the time. We've lost the first pack totally. I think they've fallen back. Come on, guys, wake up. In the question world, we'll be saying, use your whip now. Which year was the first modern Olympics? So just to let you know, there were Olympics before Christ, but then there was a major gap between the Olympic Games, and then the new Olympic Games were started, which is called the first modern Olympics. So which year was the first modern Olympics? Which year was the first modern Olympics after the long gap? Uh, 1896. That's the correct answer. In 1896, the first modern Olympics began. So let's get to the answer on that. And Ritesh Kumar, not much change. Leela Bhasin has moved up again. I think she listened to me and used the whip. I think that's what's happened because she was lagging behind. She was just off that top 5. And then I think she said, I need that book. So I think she's used the whip and moved into that 5th position. So let's wish them all luck to move up. What are the 5 colors of the Olympic ring? That's quite interesting. You know, it's quite significant about these colors because they're all there in a certain pattern. Each ring is significant to something as well. It means that they're all continents are actually represented. You know, all the 5 continents. So there's one which is correct, the correct answer. The others have one color which is off. So it's important to know which one, we got to crack the right one. It's hard because you got to read all the colors. It's not easy. 62, that's the correct answer. 62 people have got the right answer. It's blue, yellow, black, and I can't even see myself green. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful. You know, the Olympic rims are very, very significant in our sport, because it's the pinnacle of every athlete to get to that Olympic Games. So even when we're sleeping, we're dreaming of those rings going in our mind, or every day thinking, oh my God, when are we going to get to see them at the stadium? So even since a child, that's all I would do. I would draw those rings. And whenever there was an art competition and I was asked to draw something, it was either a horse, which I was not a very good drawer, so it didn't look like a horse. So the next thing was these Olympic rings. And I loved it because it was very easy, and I then could color them in with all these colors. So I remember it from a very young age. Ritesh Kumar is still, I think he's really on the lead, as Karthik, Raghuveer, and Nilaba is coming up. And there's Rahul Gandhi now, who's a new person, the leader. So it's quite an exciting finish for the 5. Let's get to the next question. First language of the Olympic Games. This is an interesting question. Please let me make it very clear. It's the first language, because there are a couple of official languages at the Olympic Games, but there's one which is called the first language. So is it French? Is it English? Is it Spanish? Is it German? Is it the most spoken language? Is it the second most spoken language? Is it the language where the event is going to be held? We don't know all those things. So it's for you to guess right now, or actually may know the answer. You won't be guessing. This was 67, French. So French is the first language of the Olympic Games. And the reason why it was the first language at the Olympic Games was when the first modern Olympics was started by Pierre Courbet, who was French. And so in respect for him, he decided that we will have French as the first language. The second language at the Olympic Games is English. But there's a third language as well. And the third language is of the host country. So all 3 languages are used in the medal ceremony, at the opening ceremony, or when any official instruction is given at the Olympic Games. It's always French, English, and then the host country's language. Karthik D has taken over from Ritesh, but no other change. So the other horses are all sitting out there in their perfect position, galloping in good rhythm. No change at all. They're very comfortable. They're very happy. And I'm not sure how far back the rest of the field is. So we're not sure whether they're in a comfortable position or whether they still need to attack to get the next. How many medals has India won at the Olympic Games? 17, 9, 36, or 28. Now, this is how many medals has India won at the Olympic till date, but actually not counting these Olympic Games, okay? So you can't count what we won today because this show was already, been set yesterday. So just remember, it's not counting today's medal. How many medals have we won? In total, gold, silver, bronze, and 66 have got it right. Yes, it's 28 medals that comprise of gold, silver, and bronze. And I'll be proud to say today, thanks to Mirabai Chanu, who won our first medal in silver medal in weightlifting in the 49 kgs. It's pretty exciting, even to know what she went through, because in Rio she didn't have a very good performance, and her performance went down, and the Indian Federation still supported her, and she's come back fighting, working extremely hard. So it's a success story and great morale for the Indian camp. Huh? Wonderful. So again, no change. I think these 5 are going pretty strong. They're really, really going very, very strong. I think the rest have to really have to use the whip very hard if they want to catch up. In the Olympic history, Indian hockey men's team won gold medal for how many consecutive Olympics? Not how many medals, in consecutive Olympics. So they need to know how many. That's pretty amazing, huh? How many medals did we win one after the other without a break? I love watching hockey. I used to play for school, and I also played for my college. It's a great sport, lots of tact, and great fitness, great comradeship. And I wish the Indian hockey team, they won their first game today. 39 went for 6, and then they went for 10. And but the answer is, wait a minute, I thought the answer was 6. Yes, that's the right answer. 6. 6 is the right answer. We have won it in 1928, in 1936, 32, then in 36, then in 48, 52, and then again in 56. Pretty amazing. I don't think whether you all would remember, but there was a player called Dhyan Chand. He was an amazing. In fact, he played once when Hitler was watching him play, and they changed his hockey stick. About, I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me, but it was about 8 to 9 times in the game. Well, because he was playing, because they thought there was some magic in his hockey stick, because he was so fast with the ball. They didn't, when anybody came, they couldn't even see where the ball was. He was so quick. So, and that's how good our players were. So it started with him, and there were many extremely good hockey players that India has had. So very exciting that we've had, and I really wish that we win a gold medal this year as well. We've had a good start by beating New Zealand 3-2 today. Again, not much change in the top order with a new person coming, Nachi. So good luck to Nachi. You've still got 4 ahead of you. If you stick here, you get the book in any case, but it's always good to win. So keep going. Who was the first Indian woman to win an Olympic medal? Was it Mary Kom? Was it Karnam Maleshwari? Was it Saina Nehwal? Or was it P.V. Sindhu? Who was the first Indian woman to win an Olympic medal? There's a fun fact here as well of, for women in Olympics. They were not allowed in the first Olympics. So when the first Olympics were held in 1896 in Greece, there were no women, because Pierre Courbet, who actually started it, he was not in favor of it. Yes, it is Karnam Maleshwari. She was our first, and how uncanny. She was our first medal winner in weightlifting, and today we have our first medal winner in weightlifting. So I think there's a sign. It's absolutely a sign out here. So it's pretty exciting that we had this girl who won our first medal, and she won it in 2000 at Sydney Olympics, at the same Olympic Games that I was competing at. So it was just wonderful. Then we have Kartik D, Ritesh Kumar, Raghuveer, Nachi, and Mamta Rani, who's come in there, new player. And this is our last question. I think so. I'm not sure. Let me check. Which year of the Olympics were women first allowed to compete? Which year of the Olympics were the women first allowed to compete? And 46 have said 1900, and that's the correct answer. Actually, if you all were listening to me, I actually gave away this answer in question before. It was a bit of a thing to see whether you're all paying attention. When you're in school, sometimes the teacher throws that, gives you the lead or gives you an answer while they're talking, and it's to actually check which students are paying attention. So that was my trick to see how many of you all were actually paying attention, because I had mentioned that the first Olympics, which was the modern Olympics, was in 1896, and women were not allowed to compete. It was because Peter Courbet, then he changed his mind, and at the next Olympics, which was 1900, he allowed women to compete. But this is wonderful, where I think I've got to go to the next sheet to really see who the winners are.
Yes, you're going to go to the podium now.
Okay.
But before we do that, I just very quickly, and I know that, everyone gets into a rush to sort of leave, and there are more exciting things to do on the weekend.
Yes.
But just wanted to say thank you so much. And you've set the bar a little too high now. I mean, I don't think our quizzers are going to like my pace anymore, because this was just so fantastic. It was just so exciting to just watch this game of facts. So thank you very much. And it's me now standing in the way between you and the podium. So I'll just step back. But thank you. Thank you.
No, absolutely. So I just press the next arrow, right?
Yes.
And we now go to the podium, and to see who's in third place, we have Nachi. Well done. In second place is Raghuveer. And in first place, the winner is Ritesh Kumar. Congratulations to all of you all. It was a very, very exciting race. You all came from the back, just like I said, just like Secretariat. You all did exactly how I told you. We didn't see your names in the first 5, 6 questions. Then in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th question, we could see you climbing up the ladder. And then you all came around the bend, took your whips out, and left the field behind. You're all going to get one of my books, Riding Free. It's an inspiring book, and all I can tell you is to live your dream, and I hope it inspires you to do whatever you want to do in life.
So thank you all. Thank you, Imtiaz, and thank you, our dear Quizzards. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And as always, look forward to you joining us again on Friday at 5 p.m. with Meenal. And on Saturday, again at 5 p.m. I don't know whether Imtiaz is going to be there, but we're definitely going to have another set of exciting questions. I'm not sure if I can keep up the energy levels that Imtiaz really got in, but I do hope he can come by every now and then and engage in the game of facts. So thank you all so much. And have a great weekend.
It would be my pleasure. It would be my pleasure. Anything that's I love games. It's all about, for me, it's all exciting because even when I play a simple game, as I said, a Monopoly, it's all, you got to win. You got to be fast. You got to be quick. You got to make decisions. And I had a great time doing it. I wish all the contestants good luck in their next games that they're going to be playing. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Imtiaz.